Julie Andrews has spent her life navigating the highest echelons of both Broadway and Hollywood, a journey that has placed her in the company of the most iconic leading men of the 20th century. Because she is a woman defined by her own immense talent, poise, and deeply ingrained British reserve, she has never been easily swayed by mere superficial charm or the fleeting trends of the box office. For Julie, handsomeness is an intricate composite of a man's soul, his intellect, his wit, and his ability to hold his own in the face of her own formidable presence. When reflecting on the men she truly found handsome, those who left a lasting impression on her heart or her professional aesthetic, she curated a list that values depth, character, and authentic spirit above all else. The first man to earn a place on Julie's list was the inimitable Rex Harrison, her legendary partner in the stage production of My Fair Lady. Having worked side by side during the grueling and exhilarating early days of that landmark musical, Julie developed a profound appreciation for Harrison's specific brand of aristocratic handsomeness. She often spoke of him as a man who exuded an effortless, slightly dangerous wit, a quality that rendered him infinitely more attractive than the standard, polished leading men of the era. To Julie, his handsomeness was anchored in his razor-sharp intellect and the sheer, theatrical authority with which he moved through the world. He was not merely a handsome face. He was a commanding force, and Julie found that kind of sophisticated, demanding energy to be the most compelling form of masculine beauty. She admired the way he could dictate the rhythm of a scene with just a glance, a testament to a man who knew exactly who he was and refused to apologize for it. Beyond the footlights, she appreciated his ability to maintain that persona. He was a man who demanded excellence from his co-stars, and in doing so, he pushed Julie to refine her own craft, turning their professional tension into a refined, elegant dynamic that defined the success of the show. Her second choice was the incomparable Cary Grant, whom she consistently viewed as the absolute gold standard of effortless elegance. Julie admired Grant not just for his classic, chiseled features, but for the way he utilized his entire physical being to project charm, making his movements feel as natural as breathing. She often reflected on how Grant managed to stay light on his feet, possessing a humorous warmth that made him feel both accessible and utterly untouchable at the same time. For Julie, Grant's handsomeness was a masterclass in perfect balance. He was always immaculately tailored and undeniably polished, yet he seemed to have a perpetual, mischievous twinkle in his eye that suggested he was always in on the joke. She found that particular combination of high-class poise and self-deprecating humor to be profoundly handsome, proving that for Andrews, true beauty was always best served with a side of sharp, human wit. She frequently noted that his beauty was not static. It was a performance of ease that never felt forced, creating an atmosphere of comfort and sophistication that defined the golden era of cinema, an atmosphere she found deeply attractive in an industry often filled with posturing and pretense. The third name on her list, and perhaps the most significant in terms of sheer emotional resonance, was her husband, Blake Edwards. While the public often saw only the director behind the lens, Julie saw a man whose handsomeness was rooted in his rugged, complex, and deeply creative spirit. She found him handsome for his resilience and his bold, often chaotic artistic vision, which served as the heartbeat of their long personal and professional partnership. To Julie, Blake was handsome because he was a man who dared to challenge her, a man whose intensity and passion created a beautiful, lifelong dialogue. His handsomeness was real, grounded, and intensely personal, serving as a reminder that for a woman held to a standard of perfection, there is nothing more attractive than someone who sees and accepts the entirety of your soul. His drive and his ability to view the world through a lens that was entirely unique made him, in her eyes, a man of unparalleled beauty. She often spoke of the comfort she found in his complexity, noting that his handsomeness wasn't just physical. It was an intellectual and emotional sanctuary, a ruggedness of spirit that contrasted beautifully with the polished roles she often played, creating a balance that sustained her through the highs and lows of a life lived in the public eye. moving toward a different kind of striking presence. Julie named Christopher Plummer as one of the most handsome men she ever encountered. Working together on the set of The Sound of Music, Julie witnessed firsthand the magnetic, slightly brooding intensity that Plummer brought to every single frame. She deeply admired his classical beauty, his sharp, defined features, and his fiery, unpredictable nature that seemed to burn with a constant internal heat. Plummer possessed a certain magnetism that felt electric, and Julie was fascinated by the stark contrast between his stern, commanding screen presence and the wicked, playful sense of humor he kept hidden underneath. To Julie, he was handsome because he was a man of fascinating contrasts. He could play the hardened, stoic captain one moment and the charming, spontaneous romantic the next, a duality she found endlessly captivating and utterly essential to his appeal. She frequently recalled the long days of filming in the Austrian Alps, where Plummer's ability to anchor a scene with intense gravity while maintaining a quick, biting wit kept the production vibrant and alive, a testament to a handsomeness that was as intellectually stimulating as it was visually arresting. Finally, Julie rounded out her list with a legendary Sidney Poitier, a man for whom she held immense respect throughout her entire life. Julie was always vocal about her admiration for Poitier, whom she found to be not only physically striking, but possessed of an inner, quiet radiance that was genuinely rare in the industry. She described his handsomeness as being deeply tied to his profound dignity, the richness of his voice, and his unwavering integrity in a world that often demanded compromise. To Julie, Poitier's beauty was profound because it was an honest reflection of his character. He walked into a room with a kind of gentle, quiet strength that was more powerful than any loud declaration. She found his elegance, his kindness, and his immense poise to be the absolute pinnacle of masculine attractiveness, marking him as a man who was truly handsome in every sense of the word, from the integrity of his spirit to the grace of his physical presence. His ability to maintain such poise in the face of immense cultural pressure was, to Julie, the most attractive quality a man could possess, representing a height of human dignity that she viewed as the ultimate form of physical beauty. In looking at Julie Andrews' choices, it becomes clear that her appreciation for male beauty was never about simple vanity or the fleeting, superficial trends of Hollywood. For Julie, handsomeness was always a reflection of character. Whether it was the biting wit of Rex Harrison, the enduring charm of Cary Grant, the creative drive of Blake Edwards, the fiery intensity of Christopher Plummer, or the quiet, noble strength of Sidney Poitier.